What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. We're about to talk some motherfucking UFC Vegas 81 recap. As always, go down, like, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts on the card. Comment on any bets you cashed in. I hope you tailed mine because it was a great weekend for me. But as always, I'm Paul Pickle Wyndham Contra, one half of Totally Blitz, and I'm with.
Hey man, and I'm like 1/15th. If Paul's one half, I'm like 1/15th of Totally Blitz. But I'm in this bitch with motherfucking your favorite Miss Mia Bella, and it's your boy Kev Waterboy Support, aka the Street Fighter Enthusiast, and we out here vibing. Pebble, man, it's a solid fight night. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing this out there. We were screaming Sean Strickland made the Apex great again. Sean Strickland is now a middleweight champion. Apex cards have been pretty decent. I'm just saying.
That is true. Correlation, causation, no relation. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. But UFC Vegas 51 was straight. Oh, not 51, 81 was straight. I mean, the main event was like a test of will. I think this is when people will be like, yo, like I just told myself I was tougher than the guy, and I was willing to die about it. Like this is that Edson Barboza came with that type of mentality. Motherfucking, what was your favorite fight on the card?
Favorite fight on the card? It probably have to be. Terrence McKinney getting the 22nd KO was fun. Uh,
Respect.
but honestly, probably the Jonathan Martinez KO over Adrian Yanez. It was like a pick 'em money line. I took Martinez, I cashed it, but he's just showing like he's such a well-rounded fighter. Like the fact that his leg kicks are so devastating. It's like him and Cub Swanson are the only two in UFC history to now have two KOs due to leg kicks. So
Yeah,
Jonathan
that's just crazy.
yeah, Martinez's leg kicks are super duper like painful to the point where like he got the KO because of the leg kicks, and we didn't have to see him wrestle, even though we know he got wrestling in his back pocket, and he was like even though the stats will tell you that Yanez was landing more head strikes and body shots, it was like Martinez controlled this whole fight just off the leg kicks alone, getting into the clinch, working them like Martinez is showing like he was supposed to have a top number next to his name. After his fight, he definitely will.
Yeah.
Whew, I had to get that one out.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I thought he broke his shit. Like that shit was crazy that he just dropped it like that.
Multiple times too. It was like the second knockdown by leg kick was the one that really did it.
No, that shit is crazy. Like kicks, leg, getting knocked out with leg kick probably had to be some of the most painful shit you could do. But what fight do you want to talk first, man? There was a couple hitters on here now.
Terrence McKinney opened it up. Chris Gutierrez, a low key bantamweight that does he makes noise, but like he got the unanimous decision win. Honestly, we could start wherever.
I say let's start Terrence McKinney. 2 fights in a row. Kept picking up steam, knocking motherfuckers out. I thought this was a prelim fight, but it was actually an open the main card. I was like, okay, I see you, TM.
My issue with the Terrence, like, yeah, it's a good win. Both of his wins back to back were like, well, good, easy wins. But like, he's hard to gauge because the moment they gave him like step up fights was when he started losing. And then they're like, all right, let's get his confidence back up. Here's some trash cans. Here's some people that you definitely should win. You're like minus 600 betting favor going into the fight. And of course, you're going to get first round wins back to back. Like, he's hard to gauge because like it's either he gets a step up fight and he's lost them so far, or he's getting these trash cans and he's just absolutely bulldozing them. So it's like hard to really gauge him. And it's like these wins, they help your record, but and to me, they're like stat padding wins. It's like getting an easy layup when the other team's not playing defense because you're already up by 40. Like, yeah, your numbers at the end of the game look good, but like, did that really impact anything? No. And I think this is when it doesn't impact his growth. It doesn't impact where he is on the ladder in the UFC. It keeps his name buzzing. We're here talking about him still, but I just don't. He's like almost in like UFC purgatory for me. Like I just like yeah, you're gonna continue beating up these trash cans, but it didn't do nothing for me.
Damn, pal. I mean, I didn't know you was gonna give it to him like that. I agree one wholeheartedly. I was exciting. I appreciated it. It was cool. It definitely because this is the part where the card where I'm like really, really toasted. So like I can either do two things: doze off or go get some food. And once things like that happen on the card, I'm like, yo, we lit. Like what's cracking? So him getting that and then just like literally just hitting him like it was hitting him with crazy ground to pound, like crazy on the floor. It was nice. Damn, Paul, you literally took everything. I don't appreciate you this. But yeah, Terrence McKinney, good. It was explosive. It was exciting, but it doesn't really move him up on the ladder anywhere. But if he keeps stringing along wins, maybe get into a 5-win streak, we might be able to talk.
Maybe. When we first introduced him, when I first talked about him like a year and a half ago on the show, I was here hyping him up. I was like, Kev, this guy's
He
must go
was.
television. Like, he's gonna be a super exciting fighter for the next few years, and he is still super exciting. But it's like, it's all flash, but no like real anything behind it.
See, out of respect for you, I've chosen never to never bring that up, but you definitely was gassing him before you fought Bonfin. And I was like, yo. I was like, yo.
I was worried though when he fought Bomb. I did definitely pick him in the fight, but like leading up when I learned more and more about the Bonfim Bros, I was like, oh shit, like this ain't no fucking fight that like it's gonna be easy for him now.
Nah, that shit is fire. I mean, Terrence McKinney's cool people's name. But that's all the time we got for my boy T Rex. And it's funny that his nickname is T Rex because Brad does give like small Reptar vibes.
Reptar vibes.
Yeah, like small Reptar vibes. I'm just be watching and like, okay, I can see why they call you that. But he's cool people. He's shot out. He's 1/3 of the Blunt Bros. But on to the next fight. What you thinking, man? You know my
What did
dog
you
Michael Paeta. I'm just saying.
with who?
My dog Michael Paeta.
Well, before we get into Pierre, let's talk about that boy C Rod. There's gonna be some good and bad things. C Rod wins the fight over Cameron Simon, but he comes in 5 pounds overweight again. This is the second time coming in so overweight. You need to get your fat ass a scale at home or something. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like you have all the potential. You look great. It was a close fight. I had it 29-28. A lot of people had it that way for him. 30-27 kind of wild, but 29-28 seems to be the right call. And he beat another prospect that had all the hype behind him, stuffed all his takedowns. Honestly, a couple submission attempts in there. Like he looked great. It's just stop coming in overweight. The only thing beating you right now is you.
Yeah, 5 pounds is crazy. Like anything more than two doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people. But like anything more than two is like, yo, that's crazy. So five, like remember when Hazmat came in, what, like 7 or 8 pounds
And
overweight?
didn't give a fuck about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. Like, oh, and people talk shit about Oliveira for coming in like what, 1 pound or like 0.5 over or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you want to have championship aspirations, you have to be constantly on weight. Like you can't just be I'm missing weight. Like no. Like Charles Oliveira got that bitch stripped from him because of that.
Yeah, that shit is five. That shit is real. So 5 pounds is pretty crazy. Anything over two is kind of you weren't even close. But he did fight well. I will give him that. But he's being the fuck out of dudes younger than him. Like we got to see him beat Raul Rosas, and I felt like he just was like it just feel like Raul Rosas wasn't ready for him yet. That wasn't supposed to be his next fight. And then Cameron Simon, like 29-28 was a very, very good scorecard. Could have went either. Could have. I'm not tripping about a 30-27, but 29-28 is pretty fair. So I don't know. I think Cameron Simon. What do you think he goes to now? Because like he had the hype after getting that win in Sydney. What does he look like now?
He's still, I mean, we know C Rod's a young prospect, 25, I think. Simon is
Yeah,
just 22. Like, he's really young. So, this is just, I think he's one of those fighters like Max Holloway type shit where, like, this C Rod L is going to age well as his career progresses. And C Rod's going to go on and do his own thing. And I think Simon's still going to go on and do his own thing. And this is just one of those things where, like, 5 years from now, we're like, oh, yeah, like, Simon probably has picked up another 5 fight win streak or something. And we're like, yeah, his only loss was a very competitive fight against C Rod, who's currently top 10 in the weight class. Like, it's going to be one of those where it doesn't look bad fast forward. It's just like these two young prospects that are both going to go on and do something. Just happened to fight a little early.
yeah, that's real shit, man.
And then now let's get into your boy Pierre, who got the quick little dub. Was it the first round or was it the second?
It might have been it might have been the
Yeah, it
first.
was
Hold on.
first round. It was the first minute. It was a minute and six into the first round. I was like, I knew it was really quick. The walkouts were longer than this fight.
The walkouts were longer than this fight. It's crazy.
Petrosky only got to throw one punch before he ended up getting knocked down, and then the ground and pound to follow. And then Pierre goes on and wins. And it kind of like people. I mean, I picked against him. A lot of people in our group chat picked him, but it was also because Knuckles got to meet him. He's a cool guy, so a little bit of biasness towards those picks. But this was like the young and hungry guy coming up, making noise. Hasn't lost since Brian Battle. Going up against an aging middleweight that kind of has been tinkering on his way out because he's not really at the hype of his career anymore. And he kind of just like shut all that shit down. He was like, all right, like you're not gonna bring in this new guy to replace me. Type of that's the vibes I got from it.
Yeah, I respect it. I mean, it would just look like the perfectly timed punch, like precision beats power type shit. And he threw a lot behind it. That shit looked painful. But like it was a perfect what do you think it hit? Like was it on the chin or was it a little bit higher?
Yeah, it was on the chin. It wasn't like a dead center perfect shot, but it was on the chin.
Yeah, you guys hit that bit perfect time and it came with the right power. Dropped him and got the ground and pound. So how old is Per? Is he like 30 something?
Yeah, I want to say he's 33. Let me double check. 30. He's 30 on the dot.
Okay, so that's not terribly old. So yeah, I mean, if he continues this the way that he's coming, he might be able to string along a nice little win streak.
Well, he already has that. This makes it his sixth in a row after this.
Wow,
And
I
his
did not.
last loss was a DQ to Diego Sanchez. But then the fight before that, he also lost. So like either way, he's coming off. It's gonna be a 6 fight win streak. And he has good names: Chaos Williams, Andre Falajo. I mean, not a good name. He just got cut by the UFC. Santiago Ponzinibbio, and now Andre Petrosky. So like these are solid unranked guys that are like great when you're looking at the record. Like like these are all good names to have.
Mm.
Next one, well, we already kind of hit on it, so just breeze past it. Jonathan Martinez getting the second round KO via leg kick over C-Rod, my favorite fight on the night. Again, he just dominated this fight. He wasn't afraid of Yanez's power or combos or anything because he can strike just as good. And he showed that like his Yanez's legs seem to be a weakness where like he doesn't check leg kicks and he wants to box and like Martinez can box too, but he showed that I'm gonna incorporate this is MMA. This isn't just boxing. So I'm gonna incorporate my leg kicks with my combos. And it was a big difference maker to me. It was like someone who was one dimensional versus a multi-dimensional fighter in Martinez.
No, that shit is real. I mean, I'm on the big. I was big on the AJ Yanez train. A lot of people, a lot of good dudes co-signed for him. So when he got beat by Rob Font, I was tripping. But after seeing this fight, it was like, no, there's just some toes in his game that he needs to tighten up.
And then we had, I don't want to call it boring, but it was pretty boring. The girls gave it all they got, but Vivian, two legends of the game, give him that. Vivian Rajo getting the unanimous decision win over Jennifer Maya, mostly basically because of her control on top for most of the fight, landing some shots from the top position. But this is what kind of expected when you had two great BJJ artists kind of going at it. It was going to be like, okay, there's probably going to be a lot of scrambles and a lot of top versus bottom positions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to say I dozed off during this fight. I definitely wasn't paying the most attention, but every time I looked up, and I was like, okay. I mean, y'all do what y'all do.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to be disrespectful, but it is what it is. Like, it'd be 40 significant strikes to 20 in a fight. Like, there weren't really much action to this one. They saved all the action for this one. The main So
Crazy.
our boy Edson Barboza getting the win, underdog win over Sodiq Yusuff. Both sides got a knockdown. First round was a fucking. It looked like Yusuff was gonna just come in and storm the beaches of Normandy on that boy Edson Barboza. It was scary. He lives through that second, third, and as the fight progressed, you saw Barboza starting to take over the fight, eventually getting his own knockdown and with a nice little heel kick. The spinning heel kick that knocked down Yusuff, like that was vintage Barboza. Like it, I'm gonna continue to bet on Barbosa going up against these brawler strikers that have power. Just because as the fight goes on, you start seeing there's levels to this MMA striking.
Nah, dead motherfucking ass. And you put it together the best. Like that first round, Barbosa took. Barbosa looked. He looked slow. He looked like he wasn't supposed to be in the ring, the octagon with Yusuff. And I was looking at him like, dang, they really got him. Like, this is the guy that beat Billy Q. That's pretty wild. But his ability to take punishment, his ability to stay like just mentally focused, and his ability to adapt and just keep going and push, I commend the fuck out of Big Homie. I'm thinking like I was watching this fight, like, no way is he storming back. Cause like I feel like after halfway through the second, he just stormed his way back and just continued to just keep his gas on the pedal when Yusuff was slowing down a little bit. And he got beaten to a pulp. His face at the end of the fight's crazy, like all swollen and bleeding. But he did what he needed to do to win.
There was
And
like
that kick was beautiful.
there's a 780 combined strikes in this fight.
Fuck.
Like that's a lot of strikes, and like majority of them, like 760 were significant strikes.
Compared to 60 from the last fight.
Yeah, like honestly, this is a fight that this is one of those. It's free, like it's fucking free for you to watch if you have cable television or just streaming. Like if you have ESPN Plus or if you have Hulu, like it comes with it. Like this is one of those fights you could have just showed one of your boys who probably didn't watch MMA, and they would have been sitting there like, "Oh fuck, like this is what happens every weekend," and you'd be like, "You lie," and you say, "Yeah, every fight's like this."
Yep. But nah, that shit was a fucking war. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see.
Yeah, well, shout out our boy Edson Barboza. You picked against him, but I know you was rooting for him.
Yeah, I thought that nigga was old. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He definitely is old. That part is true.
Mhm.
But shout out to everyone still listening. Shout out to the UFC for once again putting on a great Apex event. Edson Barboza. And people asked where I was in the Knuckles chat afterwards this fight. I was actually very engaged throughout this card in the chat. And I was in the space afterwards, and they were all talking about what the next fight he should fight up next because he's been fighting down. Who's he gonna fight up at featherweight? Da 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 da. And I came in and I was like, I know we want him to fight up, but why not have him fight Bushido Brown, Alex Caceres?
Mm.
Right, Alex Caceres is one rank below him, is a fun striker, got the fro, and then you got Edson Barboza, bald head, fun striker. Like it's a battle of two worlds right there. I just think that's gonna be just a fun Apex fight. And then my other one I pitched was like, if he does fight up in realistically terms, it's probably gonna be Josh Emmett. And if it's Josh Emmett, I don't think Barboza can take a strike like he did against Yusuff. And I just hope he doesn't go out like that. So give me the Caceres fight next instead.
That's real. That's real as fuck, man. But shout out UFC Vegas 81, man. That was smooth. My boy Paul hit on his bets, got the parlays together.
Yes, sir. And I'll have some more of y'all UFC 294 next week. I'll have the bets for y'all boys coming up on that episode. So stay tuned for that. And always stay tuned for the NFL. We got the picks, the recaps, the Thursday night predictions, and everything. Thank y'all for watching. This has been our episode Totally Blitz podcast. I'm Paul Pickawinham, joined with Kevin Waterboy, Street Fight Enthusiast Savoy. If y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.